Elon Musk knows that books are one of the best ways to level up your thinking, get new insights, better ideas, and inspiration from some of the most brilliant minds who have ever lived. The right books allow you to shave years, if not decades, off your learning curve by allowing you to tap directly into highly condensed sources of knowledge. But with almost 130 million different, unique books out there, where should you even start? What should you read next? And what books are going to give you the best bang for your buck in regards to both time and money spent? Well, that's what this video is about, and I'm going to give you 15 books that Elon Musk loves and recommends and thinks that you should read too. I'll link them up in the descriptions below this video so you can check them out after as well. Because as one of the most accomplished entrepreneurs and billionaires of our time, whether you love him or hate him, you can't argue with the fact that the man gets results and has managed to accomplish some pretty incredible things. So it only makes sense to try to figure out the content and ideas that he consumed along the way that influenced his way of thinking and acting. So let's kick it off with book number 1, The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. When Musk was a young teen living in South Africa, he read this book and it would go on to greatly and deeply influence his way of thinking. The book depicts our planet on the brink of destruction to make room for a galactic expressway. This is when the main character, Arthur Dent, is unexpectedly pulled off the planet by his friend, Ford Prefect, who turns out to be an alien. Yeah, these things happen. In a 2013 interview, Musk talked about the book and said that it highlighted an important point. A lot of times, the question is harder than the answer, and if you can properly phrase the question, then the answer is the easy part. Next up, structures. Elon's initial success came from PayPal, so it was hard for him to make the transition from programming and coding over to modernizing rockets. I mean, he literally taught himself rocket science to be able to do it, which is amazing because I'm still struggling with beginner level Spanish. Sí, me gustaría mucho adoptar tu bicicleta. In an interview with a California radio station, he described structures as a good starting point in structural design. So if you want to learn more about the world around you and how it's all created, then this is a great place to start. It's oddly intriguing to hear from architects and engineers about how buildings are constructed and why suspension bridges don't just fall down during rush hour. Something that keeps me up at night and haunts my dreams. Next up, a book on Ben Franklin. In the same way that we're fascinated by Elon and his way of thinking, he thought the same about Benjamin Franklin. If you're unfamiliar with Benjamin Franklin's life, he was a hardworking businessman who moved up the social ladder from being a nobody to being invited to sit at the rich kids' table. He was also a founding father of the country that's now known as the United States of America and is best known for his famous kite experiment, which proved that lightning is electricity and contributed to the creation of the lightning rod and a bunch of other cool stuff too. During a Foundation interview, Musk even said that Benjamin Franklin is one of the people he admires most. Personally, I'm a big fan of Benjamin Franklin's daily routine, as even back in the 1700s, he was pioneering what we now know today as productivity and essentialism. Next up, superintelligence. It's no secret that Elon Musk has a pretty strong opinion on how powerful AI, or artificial intelligence, can be.
Robots will be able to do everything better than us.
In his book Superintelligence, Nick Bostrom analyzes how technology is going to be influencing and impacting people over the next 10 decades. He also explains how technology is impacting our everyday lives and how advances in this field are accelerating at an almost unbelievable pace. Musk suggests this book. That is very hard to say. Try saying it with me now. Musk suggests this book to anybody that's really interested in the effects that AI is going to have on humans and why we should be just a little bit cautious about it, or a lot bit cautious about it. Which, in other words, is essentially just his way of making sure that the Terminator movie doesn't actually happen in real life. Oh, hey guys, I'm sorry I forgot to plug you in last night. I just got, kind of busy doing human stuff. Guys? The next book is called Our Final Invention. This book was recommended as a good read by Elon Musk on Twitter in 2014, and it continues along the trend of AI. Don't worry, not all of these are about AI, but there is an underlying theme here. This book also explores the topic of whether humanity could coexist with a superior intellectual being through the artificial intelligence, and once again warns that maybe we should be careful about this. The fact is that artificial intelligence is already here. The only question is, what are we going to do with it? The biggest effect by far is going to be on the workforce, as millions of people are going to lose their jobs as it's replaced with more and greater levels of automation. But as anybody who's ever owned one of those robot vacuum cleaners knows, we're still a long way away from having to worry about them taking over the world. That is, as long as we never arm them with the ability to effectively make it down a flight of stairs. Stupid robots. Okay, the next book is Ignition. So Musk was able to figure out how to build a rocket, but he also had to figure out how to fly it as well. All right, Mr. Musk, you're all set. Just press that giant red button right there and you're off to the moon. I mean, Mars. Mars. We programmed Mars, right? and he said that Ignition was a really good book on rockets. But seeing as I personally had never read any other book on rockets, I kinda had to take his word for it. The science of rocket fuel is also explained in detail in this book. So if you're not personally interested in rockets or chemistry or anything like that, I would highly recommend skipping this one. Next up though, I've got a book that Elon Musk read as a child and that highly influenced his way of thinking and seeing things. And this one is far more readable and enjoyable, and even relevant. But before I get to that, first a real quick message and big thank you to this video's sponsor, Helsim. Helsim is a payments company that helps small businesses across Canada and the US accept debit, credit, and bank payments. Offering a digital-first solution, affordable rates, and amazing customer service, they help small businesses feel good about their payments by offering transparent interchange plus pricing, no hidden charges, no contracts, no monthly fees, and an all-in-one merchant platform that gives you access to the latest technology and all the tools you need to get paid and grow your business, including invoicing, payment pages, virtual terminals, and more. And when you sign up with the special link in the descriptions below this video, you can get $5,000 in free processing. So make sure to do that right after this video. Okay, next up, The Foundation. The Foundation trilogy by Isaac Asimov was one of Elon Musk's favorite books to read as a child. The books are focused on the downfall of the imaginary galactic empire, which includes millions of planets populated by humans throughout the Milky Way galaxy. Foundation really puts everything into perspective and shows just how close we are to the tipping point where humans really will be able to colonize other planets. If you're into science fiction, then this is a great series to look at. If you're not, then you've got my permission to take a pass here as well. Also, fun fact on Isaac Asimov, he wrote over 400 books on a manual typewriter with no help from any kind of productivity software. There's a lesson in just doing the work and getting down to business in that fact alone. Next book, Life 3.0. At this point, you may be noticing a pattern here with Elon, as this book is number 3 to do with artificial intelligence on a list of 15, which according to my math is 3 out of 15. This time though, the book takes a little more of a positive spin and focuses on how artificial intelligence may actually be able to help humankind. Finally, some good news, eh? The book addresses some pretty big issues, like how can automation increase wealth without depriving people of work or meaning? What career guidance should we provide to today's youth? And do we, as a species, need to worry about a race to develop dangerous autonomous weapons? So let's get a little lighter with our next book, The Lord of the Rings. Elon had a tough childhood, but was very smart and buried himself in imaginary settings that heavily affected his character. He mentioned in an interview with the New York Times that the heroes of the stories he read always felt like they had a duty to save the world, and we can see that core value has stuck with him as an adult. At this point, giving a summary of The Lord of the Rings would be practically useless, because you probably already know the plot from either reading the books or watching the movies. And if not, I'm not going to be the one to spoil them for you. Next up, 0 to 1. Both Thiel and Musk are members of the organization now known as the PayPal Mafia, who, after the sale of PayPal made them millionaires, went on to start other companies. 0 to 1 is a fantastic and really easy to read book. It's brief, to the point, and anybody with an entrepreneurial mindset will find Thiel's perspective interesting, valuable, amazing, highly relevant. After reading it, it's easy to see how Musk and Thiel may have collaborated on previous projects. Despite their somewhat conflicting points of view, there's a tremendous amount of respect between both of them. Next book is The Moon is a Harsh Mistress. Have you ever wondered what keeps us from already having a moon colony? I mean, don't we have the technology to already be settled there by now? So what you're looking at here has real untapped potential. It's a dreamer's paradise, a blank canvas, a chance to put down roots, or should I say, landing gear. Hey, where are you going? Aw man, really needed to make that sale. The dystopian future depicted in Heinlein's novel is one in which some people have been driven off Earth and banished to the moon. It's here that they decide to establish a libertarian society and then revolt and rebel against Earth. It's another interesting science fiction book and one that Musk really enjoys. I'm not much of a science fiction guy myself, but again, if you want to learn how someone thinks, it really helps and is really beneficial to put yourself in their shoes and try to consume all of the things that they do. Merchants of Doubt is up next, and this non-fiction book, written by 2 data scientists, reveals how large businesses use public relations in order to cover up all the damage that they're doing to the environment and to people. From the tobacco industry to pesticides to global warming. Yeah, it's a real feel-good book. The book gives you a sneak peek behind the scenes, and It's not pretty. The focus of Merchants of Doubt is how, for more than 40 years, a loosely knit group of highly regarded scientists, funded by and linked to politics and business, has launched successful efforts to fool the public and dispute well-established scientific knowledge. Musk personally recommended the book on Twitter back in 2013, but since then, things have gotten a lot worse. So let's make things a little bit lighter again with this next book on everybody's favorite genius, Albert Einstein. The book Einstein, His Life and Universe is based on Einstein's own writings and takes us on a journey from a young, disgruntled patent officer to a Nobel Prize winner, transforming the world as we know it in the process. It's easy to understand why Musk really enjoys Walter Isaacson's biographies. The author casts his characters in a familiar light as youthful rebels and nonconformists who are passionately pursuing their life's purpose and who, in doing so, change how we perceive the world. Next, a book on a slightly more polarizing and troubled fellow, Howard Hughes. Howard Hughes is another person that greatly inspired Elon. During his lifetime, the guy basically fascinated the entire world and became kind of a legend. The only problem is that the world and him just didn't exist in the same universe. And there are some very powerful, very good lessons that you can learn from this. Namely that money, fame, and success beyond your wildest dreams are attainable. But if you're not careful, the price you'll pay will be equal to or even greater than the success that you've achieved. Many people compare Elon Musk to a modern-day Howard Hughes, so let's keep our fingers crossed that things turn out a little better. Next, The Culture series by Ian M. Banks. Over the years, Elon has also drawn a large amount of inspiration from the entire Culture series. In accordance with Banks' novels, Elon identifies himself as a utopian anarchist. And Banks is often regarded as one of Silicon Valley's favorite writers, as he presents a realistic view of what society might look like in the future. As important as all of these books are though, one of the best ways to see what's truly made someone successful is not just taking a look at the books that they've read, but rather the things that they're actually doing. And this is why I've put together a video right here that shows the marketing strategies that Elon Musk used to help turn Tesla into one of the fastest growing businesses in the world. So make sure to check it out now, and I'll see you in the next video. You see, some of the first principles of marketing are number 1, to make a really great product, and then number 2, to tell everyone about that product.